Jill Dimitriou. I am recording this slideshow about the learning process. 5 key ideas that this presentation will focus on includes the following. Number 1, factors that define effectiveness for both teachers and students. Key ideas number 2 and 3 both refer to George Miller's information processing theory. Key idea number 2 is what is a chunk. Key idea number 3 refers to what is the tote concept. Key ideas 4 and 5 both refer to neurological research and its implications on education. Key idea 4 is adolescent brain findings. Key idea 5 is imitation and brain research. In other words, the old adage, monkey see, monkey do, has been proven correct. Success is defined as student learning. Robert Smith's quote leads to a greater question. What specific factors define effective learning and teaching? Well, it turns out they're the same. Number 1, belief. Number 2, knowledge. Number 3, problem solving. Number 4, goals and interests. Dr. Patricia Alexander goes into more detail on the 4 steps necessary for effective learning and teaching. And she goes on to say that they are the same for teachers as they are for learners. Number 1, belief is referring to belief in oneself. You need to have confidence as both the teacher and the learner. Number 2 is content knowledge. Teachers require a thorough understanding of content knowledge if they are to impart that knowledge to students. Number 3 is problem-solving skills and strategies. When a problem is presented to you, you need to have skills and strategies to work towards figuring out a solution. And number 4 is interest and goals. Students need to know where they're going, and they need to be driven to meet those goals. This matrix that shows effectiveness in teachers and learners reviews the 4 different stages of effectiveness: confidence, knowledge, problem solving, and finally, goals and interest. The next 2 key ideas both come from George Miller's informational processing theory. The 2 key ideas of information processing theory that will be discussed include chunking and the tote concept. Is a chunk. According to Miller, short-term memory could only hold 5 to 9 chunks of information, 7 plus or minus 2, where a chunk is any meaningful unit. According to Richard Culotta, this could mean anything involving digits, words, chest positions, or people's faces. In the classroom, this can be used to help the teacher determine the amount of new strategies or skills to teach in a given lesson. Chunking tells educators that theories regarding short-term memory dictates no more than 9 new ideas or skills at the very most will be presented in one sitting. What is the tote concept? According to Richard Culotta, the second concept is tote: test, operate, test, exit. The tote cycle includes: first, choose a goal. Next, test. Test that goal to see if it has been achieved. Then, operate. If not, you try something new and meet your goal. Finally, exit. Continue the test-operate cycle until you meet or abandon your goal. While according to Richard Culotta, the tote concept provided the basis of many subsequent theories of problem solving, for example, GPS, it also has many implications for education. The TOTE concept has significant implications for teachers. The TOTE cycle as it pertains to educators includes, first, choose a goal. Now, for teachers, a goal could include content standards or learning objectives written in student-friendly language. Next, test. Give students a pre-assessment, formative assessment, or summative assessment. Then, operate, or in our case, teach. Give your lesson, which includes a new way for students to complete the skill or task. Exit. Continue the test, operate, or teach cycle until you have evidence of student learning from assessment data. Now let's combine chunking and TOTE concept as it pertains to educators. Number 1, set a goal. Again, this includes content standards or learning objectives. Number 2, test students. This could include a pre-assessment, a formative assessment, or a summative assessment. Number 3, teach or operate. During this step, you chunk learning by only teaching a maximum of 5 to 9 new skills or ideas. Number 4, exit. Continue the test, teach cycle until teacher has evidence of student understanding via testing data. Brain research. Adolescent brain research gives educators important information about students. According to Sarah Jane Blakemore and Uta Frith, it is possible that the excess of synapses in puberty, which have not yet been incorporated into specialized functional systems, result in poor cognitive performance for a while. Puberty has a huge effect on students. However, understanding the neurological implications of puberty is essential. According to Sarah Jane Blakemore and Uta Frith, the brain is still changing and adapting during this time. Therefore, educators need to focus on improving control. This could include self-paced learning, meta-study skills, and critical self-analysis to learn how to become independent scholars. Imitation and brain research. Monkey see, monkey do. Seriously. Imitation is one way to learn. According to Sarah Jane Blakemore and Uta Frith, simulating observed actions in the brain might make performing that action easier if and when you come to perform the action yourself. This supports the long-held teaching practice of modeling. Modeling is a skill that educators have long been advocating as good teaching. This research proves that to be true. Sarah Jane Blakemore and Uta Frith said it best when they wrote, "This echoes the belief of many educators that we should not just impart what we know, but also demonstrate how to know. Imitation is not just a form of flattery, it is also a best practice supported by brain research."